Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from Hong Kong at SmartCon 2024 by Chainlink. Joining me for this segment, we have Jeannie Lim. She's Executive Director at Paxos. We're here to discuss drivers for institutional and mainstream adoption of real-world asset tokenization and the role that Paxos plays in that. It is great to see you, Jeannie. Welcome to TradeTalks.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You
Jill.
got it. Tell us more about Paxos and your involvement when it comes to real-world asset tokenization.
Sure. So just to give you a brief introduction of Paxos. Paxos today, we issue three stablecoins. One is a USDP, which is mainly used in the US today. And then two, it's the USDL, which is issued out of the Abu Dhabi regulator. And then three, we also have a digital gold product called PAXG, also regulated out of the New York DFS. And most recently, we're so excited to have PYUSD as part of our digital asset portfolio. It hit $1 billion market cap recently, so it's definitely...
That's quick growth.
It is definitely a really great collaboration, not only with the PayPal team, but also Solana as well. Yeah.
So what are the key drivers and benefits for institutions and mainstream adoption of real-world asset tokenization? Because this seems to be the key theme here at Chainlink, at SmartCon this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I think there is a real problem to solve today, is financial access for all. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, in the next billion people, where will they be based? And it's probably in the African region or the Asian region. And 60% of them today, in today's world, are underbanked or unbanked. So financial access for traditional banks, they can't get a bank account or any kind of financial wallets through these traditional finance system. This is why, things like DeFi apps or stablecoin issuers or a different kind of financial system in fintech comes into play, and our technology will basically allow access to all. Mm-hmm. And what that really means is to have more access to different real-world asset tokenization, like real estate in the future, more like gold is another example. And because of it, you're going to provide a lot more liquidity into the market as well.
Not only that, but you're going to grow local economies as well. To your point, I mean, look at the potential that Africa has, even considering the demographics there, with, there's a young demographic and digital natives. So, I mean, it's prime for it. What are some of the key challenges in driving adoption then? And what are the types of solutions, or how are you working with, let's call TradFi as an example, to overcome these challenges?
Great question, Jill. I think the key challenge here, as we talk about at SmartCon this week, is the convergence between TradFi and DeFi. Mm-hmm. And I think there needs to be a convergence not only in the education part, but in the trust part, and understanding each other where it's coming from, and working with regulators to really educate the public, and also gain trust with the institutions to work with them. And I'll give you an example, right? When we were working with PayPal, it really took us to come back to basics and let them understand what is the real use case, why we think PYUSD can save remittances, can basically lower the cost of overall acceptance for merchants, for consumers that are trying to send remittances across the world. And because of it, through time and a lot of patience and using non-jargon works in the DeFi world, in the crypto world, makes I think you build that relationship and partnership and increasing trust and understanding. Eventually they were convinced, and now they're getting their licenses all around the world to actually do their own PYUSD and expanding use cases.
That's a good point that you bring up. You have to know your audience, right?
Yes.
I mean, I know in TradFi we tend to speak in acronyms just as any other industry does. So whether you're talking to regulators within their language or you're talking to TradFi, knowing your audience, I think, is something that transcends whether it's blockchain technology, digital assets.
Absolutely.
So I mean, that's a great lesson in general. You had mentioned the growth that you've seen in the stable coins this year. Any other news you want to share from Paxos? And where are some of the biggest opportunities?
I think the biggest opportunities is to really work with the regulators in different regions. So for Paxos, we work with New York DFS very closely. In Singapore, we're also very regulated by the MES. We're the MES regulated stablecoin, and also in Abu Dhabi with FSRA. I think it's very important for us to continue that relationship with the regulators to help them frame what is the future framework of stablecoins in 2025 or beyond, and basically be their consultation, participate in the consultation paper, and really form a partnership. And I think this is the most important thing for us.
I would imagine it's easier to operate when there's a framework around it, and that that's one of the challenges that you had alluded to before. So. Do you see progress on the regulatory and globally?
Yeah, at least on my end, I work with the MAS pretty closely. I think they're very open to new frameworks, new understanding of what new KYC means. How do we attack more on anti-money laundering practices? How do we protect consumers even better with the usage of more blockchain technology? Because at the end of the day, blockchain technology was invented because we want to promote more transparency, right? And then it's more auditable than traditional finance.
So to wrap up here, any last thoughts you want to leave our viewers with? Any outlook for Paxos?
I believe that crypto is here to stay. Blockchain technology is here to stay. I encourage everyone in the ecosystem, if you're going to defy it, don't. Embrace it, challenge it, make mistakes because the time is now, but there's so many real world use cases that we can help people and businesses with that it's here to stay for sure.
All right, Jeannie, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. And thanks for joining me from SmartCon. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.